Hey everybody, welcome to the channel today. In this video, we're going to talk about valuing our friendships and forgiving, accepting, loving, and how friends and our best friends are so important and so valuable. And sometimes they're super annoying, and sometimes they do stuff that we can hardly forgive, hardly believe they did it. But from my experience, it's worth it to say sorry for what you've done, forgive them for their transgressions, and have those friends for the good times and bad times. So the last couple of weeks of my life, I've had some really amazing weekends with some friends, and I've had a lot of death in my life. And the death makes the friendships that more valuable. And also, so many people in my family are getting older. There's Parkinson's and there's dementia and there's other things where people are just falling down. They don't know why, and then they're waiting to get diagnosed to find out what their version of Parkinson's and dementia is. And it sucks, really sucks. And then death happens. And when someone's older, it's still painful, so painful when people die. But when they're older, in general, we're better with it. When young people pass away, it's so tough. And so I'm 48 now. I think I'm 48. And a guy who was 44, a couple years younger than me, he passed away a couple weeks ago, and just rocked the whole community, rocked the whole family. And we just forget that we're going to die. We just forget. And then because of that, we act as if we can do whatever we want or say whatever we want. And I know I harp on all this in all the videos, but it's so important because before I did my steps, before COVID, I just was like burning the grass or everything in my wake I burnt that was close to me. I was fighting with, my wife at the time, and it ultimately led to divorce. My father and I fought, my little brother and I fought, and anyone that was good friends with me always knew that I, was going to say something stupid or get angry for no reason whatsoever. And since I've done my steps, that doesn't happen anymore. And that's so beautiful. And I want everybody, and that's why I make these videos, is for people to have that same chance at taking responsibility for our thoughts, feelings, speech, and actions, and being open to be guided by something bigger than us. So that when these high water moments happen, death, or we also have it when we have these really like high school reunion, which I just had, these high watermarks, and we see how we are, and we check in. And there's this amazing quote I have right over there from Muhammad Ali. Fight is won or lost, far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road, long before I dance under those lights. The fight is won or lost, far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road, long before I dance under those lights. Meaning, like, you got to put the work in for the high watermarks. And I'm kind of proud of myself for what happened the last couple weeks, because all of the work that I've done paid off. And I saw it in real time. And I didn't get a Ferrari. I didn't get a gold medal. I didn't get anything else besides the satisfaction of knowing that my life's amazing now. It's incredible. I have ups and downs. I have human condition like anybody. I have fears and anger and lust and all of these things, but they don't grip me and take me over. And I've been breathing and meditating, and that's the core of what I lean on. And Ashtavakra Gita so much, and all the teachings that I've learned from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. It's been so great. But the last few weeks, I've got to see like all of that effort I've put in, because it is effort to meditate every day and breathe every day and learn and to question and to think about why am I doing this and why do I have to change? And because if you don't change, the world, everything's changing anyway. And if you don't change with it and you don't adapt your perspective, you're just going to get left behind. And it's like the water's moving, and like it's like you're holding on to something, and like your arms getting stretched, and your body's, and then that pain is but you're just holding on. And you see so many people as holding on to the past, or they just can't forgive someone. I had people in my family, they didn't forgive people forever, and they died and they still hadn't forgiven them. And then you have these high watermarks where someone passes away and then their children are like, oh my God, I should have talked to them. And why was I like that? Or the parents, when the children pass away, oh my God, why was I like that? So check yourself now. And so a couple weekends ago, I had a bunch of friends get together and we were all sober. And we bickered. One of my buddies stayed here and we were sober, and he's been through hell, absolute hell the last couple of years. Couldn't get sober, and now he's sober. And we bickered the whole weekend about the stupidest things, oranges and hats and lights and surfboards and whatever. But we didn't argue about sobriety because we were both sober. And that was one of the greatest wins of my life. And my other buddy, we were with him as well. And the three of us are sober, and it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible that we're all sober. And that's a miracle. And I would say a miracle of God, higher power, whatever you believe. But everyone put a lot of work in. And again, if you're trying to get sober, like, do the work, find whatever your high power is, find out what your issues are, look into them, clean up your side of the street, as we say in recovery. And then life becomes amazing. Then last weekend, I had my 30th high school reunion, and I was a pretty bad kid. I thought, got kicked out of a couple schools, and I couldn't even finish the year at some of the places that had like sit home. And I talked to one of the teachers, and she was so sweet, and she said, no, you weren't that bad. You weren't that bad. You were annoying sometimes, but you weren't that bad. And I was like, really? She's like, no, it was fine. And it made me feel so sweet. And then I was playing basketball on Friday night with a friend of mine who was also there, and he said it was almost like it was healing the weekend. And one of my best buddies flew in from Newfoundland. He's done so well financially. And I love him because all of his friends kind of measure success now with planes, helicopters and planes, and where can they go? And he's like, you know what, boy? my Newfoundland accent. He's like, it doesn't matter, boy. It doesn't matter, boy. And he recently had a family member pass away. It's just like, what kind of person you are, what kind of relationships to have, It was incredible for me to be sober at my high school reunion and see other people that were drinking, and they were kind of like the village idiot. And then some other people were drinking and they were hiding something. And then again, the dark humor that I have is some people were like ran through the dark humor door, and we were like, what are you doing? And so that was kind of amazing as well to see and to reconnect with some old friends and really tease them. I teased one guy really good about his chosen profession, how I wasn't impressed, and I kind of bothered him, but in a good way, because I was like, I don't care, you're a cardiologist, who cares? I'm not impressed. So that was really fun, but it was really fun to reconnect, and we really, really had a fun time. And then this past weekend, I had my closest cousins that grew up just down the street. We all got together, and we have lots of energy, and we were teasing each other, but we were together so long that there was points in the day where we were tired. Some of us had to go outside for walks or whatever. And we allowed each other, instead of like bugging each other, like we were giving each other space to be however we were, and our energy levels went up and down. It was really neat to see that with myself and others. And we had such a fun time and laughed so hard. And again, I was sober through the whole thing. So I had some of my cousins are some of my best friends, like the guys I grew up with. We're so close. We don't see each other all that much, but when we do see each other, it's like it was like this morning, like the day before, we've been hanging out. My friends that are all sober now from university, again, they're like my brothers. And it took a lot of work. I mean, I'm 48 now. I met some of these guys when I was 4 years old. I met some of the other guys when I was 20 years old. We've changed so much, but we've put the work in and put the effort in, and did that quote from, Muhammad Ali. I've done it with this stuff. It's the fight is won or lost, far away from witnesses. This is when you do it by yourself, behind the lines, not out the line. This is before the game starts, in the gym, out there on the road, when you're by yourself, long before I dance under those lights. And then when you go under those lights, you'll see you can do it. And again, patience, kindness, and grace on it. And just know that what a gift to have friends, and it's effort, and you have to take time, and people are busy with society, and everything's expensive, and children, and as you age, and there's always a reason. But if you put that time and effort in, it's amazing. And forgive people and love them however they are, wherever they are. And even if you can't be with them anymore, for whatever reason, they've done some egregious things, you can still pray for them. You can still send them love. That's why, Gandhi and King are so famous. And yeah, it's amazing. So this video is just about being aware that we're going to die, being aware of getting ready for those higher water marks, and putting in the effort so that when you get to those higher water marks, you're ready because you've done all the work. And the payoff is not in the gold star. It's not in the gold medal. It's just in that silent satisfaction of knowing that you did it and being proud of yourself. So I hope that helps to reflect, have a really nice reflection on friendship and death and the effort and the work needed to be the person you want to be. And leave comments below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really enjoy making these. Have a great day wherever you are. Be kind and be patient and love yourself as best you can. All right. Bye, guys.